Okay, everybody, hello. So today we'll watch my sketchbook from 2016. So cat is sleeping and now I can flip pages and she will not eat my book. Так. Так. Yeah, so here is my sketchbook from 2016. And it's kind of like I have different notes here, copy, different artists. Sometimes it's quotes from tutorials. Like here I was watching a tutorial from animator Vitaly Shushko, was a Russian animator. He one of artists who was in this Love, Death and Robots, and there, you know, remember was this about rubber truck inside the tunnel, and this Love, Death, Robots first season. So it's this guy. I was watch a Russian lecture and make some notes. And here in this side, it's a practice of like different textures. So here it's like you take a texture and make a scale from dark to light. So also it's like from dense to more kind of, how to say, more easy one, from dark heavy to light, kind of, right? No, and also it's like this gradient with the shades. So when we have like this dark, middle, light, and here it's a gradient but with texture. So if you make some different objects, maybe like stones or smoke, so then you can make some gradation. You can show shadow, you can show light. And here still is some like notes about how to make composition of a frame. Here I was making some funny picture with a rooster. I don't know why I write 2007, because I was in Hong Kong. It was like 2016. Yeah, or 15 maybe, but not earlier. 15 is for sure. Yeah, so it's about from Shushko lecture, and I also sketch some of his figures because I think it's very interesting style, very dynamic, and like line is very free. Yeah, so here's like on the Russian language, so say like it's no matter what you draw, comic book or illustration, they always should tell some story. It's like illustrating story. And here's like first is a story or emotion, second composition, and third it's implementation. So it's like only on a third grade. Third level, so it's less important. And here you see, so like I do with boxes, cubes, with this curve edge. Here is like weaving, and here is like a rooftops of buildings or cracks in the ground. So it's kind of very useful exercise. Here I was like drawing my hand. Also I think it's funny, it's like just try to make very unusual gestures, and like just to practice, you know, to see what kind of plastic hand can make. And so when you draw later in illustration or anywhere, you like gain this experience. You know how far you can twist form of hand without broken this anatomy. Also I have like separate sketchbook only for hands. There's like whole sketchbook, I just sketch hands from reference from my hand. So again, some like drawn from Shushko. Here I was like one of my first attempt drawing car in perspective. Now I draw better. I will make tutorials about this. Here it was my study of Chinese. It's like Mandarin Chinese in mainland China. They use this Latin phonetics. So then when I was like study, when I learn, after I will like mark it, so I know I don't need to repeat this thing. And here was some like study from Akira manga. So it's also about try to find interesting colors, and what is most important, it's kind of practice to see this composition of spots, you know, like for example this framed ink book, Matthias, I forgot, hard to spell name of the author, but like he say composition is always like composition of lines or spots. So here I practice like study from Akira, like what kind of spots they have. So it's like light, middle and dark, or like white, gray and black. And here in Akira, in Atomo works, he often use as gray. It's not only like gray screen tone or gray value, it's also texture. So sometimes he use as gray, he will use texture, something like this here. It's a texture of concrete, kind of broken concrete, but it's make this gray value. And here it's from, again, from Shushko. Also he have very cool composition, so I will study this middle, like gray, black and bright values. It's like very interesting, very dynamic and versatile compositions. So we have like here, we have many small black elements and these gray shadows, or here black is like this long element and gray here is like small, and black like these lines. So it's like, it's just three components, just these three values, and how many different composition you can make with that. And working with these values make your composition very strong. It's like very clear message, kind of like in the music, you know, when it's like clearly stated. No, it's fantastic, I see. So also it's like how he work with geometry. So it can be like this round of forms or angular forms. It can be like volumes or flat. So somewhere it's like this here, for example, it's these carvings in a space. Somewhere it's like a texture on a wall. Also rhythms, like here with this classical thing, it's stick with shadow, so it's make interesting rhythm. So composition, you know, it's like it's all about shape, rhythm and balance. And shape, it's a shape of these three values: black, like dark, middle, and light. And also interesting in let's see, I forgot names. This famous artist like Dean Cornwell. Yeah, I think Dean Cornwell. It's like a classical illustrator. So he have like system 4 values. It's like light and dark, and this light and dark separated on 2 values. It's like have like white, light gray, and dark and dark gray. So it's like one half it's for light side, and second half is for shadow side. So here, so let's draw some eyes, just to practice draw this structure of eye. So like, you know, these elements which sometimes you lazy to show, but here I was draw this scaled version just to show all these elements, like this 2 platforms, like one is front side and one is in this inside between eyeball and eyelid. So here it's in my Taiwan hometown. I was draw famous cafe. They have like famous pie and everybody goes there to eat. No, and I just like to draw these regular views in the street. Find it's very typical and also very kind of special vibe here. All these cables, small houses, and again eye. So you can see here, for example, in this form of eye, and here is even more detail. It's like we have this side, and then it's going inside, kind of creating this shadow. Like here we can see this line, it's actually kind of shadow, which like space between eyelid and eyeball. Here are some also experiments with the hand. Here I was sit in a 7-Eleven. No, it's like OK Mart, Taiwan shop kind of. It's like 7-Eleven analog. Here is like from my old house. I was just interested by this corner, you know. It's like sometimes just something very casual, very usual, and you can look at this and just like abstract shape, like it's like composition. It's so spectacular, it's so amazing, like how light and shadow organized here. So I have like, you know, so it's so interesting. It's like miraculous, accidental miracle. Так. Yeah, some notes. Here I was try to kind of do same thing with some usual detail, try to make it interesting, but something not work out. It still look boring. I don't like it. It's like drain in the shower. So and here is from old house kitchen. So same kind of here, you see how I play with forms and rhythm. So I like to kind of organize a rhythm of all these elements and create this like chaotic harmony or like harmony of chaos, dynamic balance, call it anyway. So it's like look very chaotic, but still it's kind of soothing for some sorts. Here is a children room, my niece. So it's like that one girl, and so here you can see a lot of toys. Here's desk for homework, and in the window have some what's it called, flowers and stuff. Here was the sketch from roof, and it was rain, so ink here like was melt by water. So it's like this ink actually you cannot melt afterwards, but when paper is wet so ink of course before it's dry it starts to melt like this. So here is this like typical Taiwan old style buildings with these roofs and water tanks on the roofs. Here's some trying to find style with color and ink, so it's like gouache and ink, but I don't like. Again in 7-Eleven. So this one thing, if you're not from Taiwan, this delivery mail is it's very popular in Taiwan. It's like you can order a lot of stuff on internet and pick up from 7-Eleven. So sometimes you can see there like stack like this. So here is like thumbnail, how I usually make thumbnails when I sketch. Let me check how this live goes. Yeah, it's work. And here again 7-Eleven. So here's like lunch tables. Somebody smoke outside. (2017). Still you can see some people with a mask. Maybe afraid pollution. Here it's a building inside the university campus. Here sketch from old house. It's like house I was lived before. Now I move to another place, another district. So I like all these things like electric, network, all this stuff. So sketch of train station. Nangan train station and Fugan, some Taiwan train station, because I have series about Taiwan train stations and they make a lot of them like A3 size with ink. And here we was on the mountain, so here's like Taiwan field with tea, Taiwan tea. And you can see why I prefer ink, because pencil always will smudge even if you fix it. You know, it's like so many problem with pencil, how to storage it to be sure it will not smudge or lost at quality. So I prefer ink. Just main reason it's because it's more easy to storage, and if you travel, it's also in the travel you have less problem, less worry about your works. here is some also typical view. It's like you can see this Taiwan mountains and buildings in the window, and I think it's just funny. This can make like animation, you know, like somebody sit here, maybe read newspaper, and in the window here is this moving background. Yeah, so again, some practice with eyes and nose. Maybe it's from book Sculpture for Anatomy for Sculpture. So, and what is important is like I was practice with this values, like in the changing of a form. So we have like light, shadow, like a stairs, you know, stairs logic. Here is my niece, so niece of my wife from Taiwan. So again, drew his portrait with a pencil. Here again, eyes. Because like if you draw eyes, like no, even you do sketch, make quick sketch, it's always good for you to improve if you will draw slowly elements of your subject. So like if you draw faces, like in the people in a train or anybody, you better to spend some time just to study elements like eyes, ears, eyebrows, everything, just to be sure you understand very fine details of this, like what is the shape here, right? So it's like very interesting, like S shape, but bottom eyelid here is just like a smile, like how this eyelashes looks like. Same here, so it's like shadow here, eyelash, and all these forms, how eyelid turning around eyeball. You know, so if we see it from top down, it will look like bird view, kind of from up down. So we can see lower eyelid turning around eyeball, but upper eyelid, it's like this. It's like a head, right? Like a head cover eyeball. So here's somebody was sleeping. It's always good model when somebody sleep. Here's my wife. Oh, it's very hard to draw look same. And again some eyes and eyebrows. Like here, like look, eyebrow, very interesting this form, because we have this upper side and lower side. So when it's like turning like this, then lower side of eyebrow opens kind of for our observation. So this thing you can practice from books or from photo at home, and then when you sketch, make a quick sketch of somebody outdoors, you will notice this and you can kind of repeat what you draw before, because like I draw it already before, so kind of I have some memory in my brain about this, and for me it will be more easy kind of repeat, not like drawing from nothing. Yeah, so here's my wife and a small Chihuahua dog here under blanket watching TV together. Again from some reference. Yeah, I think it's like anatomy from sculptures. For sculptors. And it's like Clint Eastwood. You talking to me? So it's like how these wrinkles happen. These wrinkles happen. Here you see like so interesting eyelid, cover eye. So and it makes so many wrinkles, and even on the nose. Start like this, like move nose up. It's kind of interesting thing about wrinkles. Say wrinkles always perpendicular to tension. So if I like here's this skin on the forehead, because tension is vertical here, right? So wrinkle horizontal, so it's like perpendicular. If I make tension here between eyebrows, so my wrinkle will be vertical. Horizontal tension, vertical wrinkles. And it's kind of everywhere this logic. Like on the lips, these wrinkles, because have this like extra kind of skin, so in this kind of tension, bulking on a horizontal, like little diagonal curve, horizontal curvature kind of. Yeah, some experiments with form and just sketch for fun, and I was practice drawing ellipses. I have tutorial about how to sketch in perspective, how to sketch sphere in perspective. So here I was just for fun draw ellipses inside sphere. Here it's also I was thinking about making exercise, you know, like because I sometimes teach to people very basic things. So and here it's like my idea was just make this diagonal lines and draw ellipses between, like if you have square in perspective and you need to draw ellipse inside the square. So here I don't know, it's some sketch from some reference, and some thinking about form of a scooter, of motorcycle. So here you can see again it's like simplification of motorcycle and thinking how it will look from different angle. Also we'll make tutorial about this in the future, how to draw different vehicles in a perspective. So here's just some quick simple versions of this. And here it's like you make lines, and this each line is like minor axis for ellipse. All this into my tutorials. You can watch tutorial about how to draw ellipses and wheels, when you draw wheel in perspective, car wheel, car tires, and also how to draw sphere in perspective. So here again some sketches about scooter in perspective. So you can draw it in a box, you can draw it with vanishing point, some ellipses in perspective. Some notes, I forgot what meaning of this notes. It's like this quick sketch of Chihuahua, his name Lele. Somebody in the train. Yes, so here's some sketches from Taiwan train. So drawing in a train is also very good practice. It's kind of train your eye first of all, because you start to notice very subtle features around you, like somebody form of eye, somebody mimic, maybe different gestures, different poses, even like if poses similar, you see like, oh, everybody sit same way. But actually more you draw similar poses like this, you will find like, oh, this one he sit like maybe more stressed out, other one sit more relaxed, somebody sit like start to fainting, like one sleeping, somebody dreaming something. So you start to notice all these subtle differences, and this I think is main importance of drawing people in a life. It can be like a train or a cafe, you can draw from window. It's like improving your vocabulary, just make you more visually literate in the visual language. Here's some kind of Boolean operations, like trying to cut and draw inside different shapes. And like here, you see, it's like it's very loose, but you can make it more more solid. You can even hire models to repeat kind of this, but drawing from life, this original situation, it's so lively, so fresh, has this energy of real life. And this, you see, it's like maybe not much details, but main concept is here. And if I want, I can Google and work it out, make it more detailed. And also after more drawing, you will have this visual memory, you can finish it later. So you see like different heads. So I'm even like how to draw somebody from back of his head. So like you can also find so many interesting different designs. And here it's Hong Kong cafe, Hazel hair show, so like my friends there, and you can find some of my works on the wall if you will be in Hong Kong. Go check it out. Again, some metro. Like this, so funny. And here's some wisdom. Say like if you want to make a very light and intuitive drawings, you need to repeat many times. So when you repeat, like drawing same subject, more you repeat, more you draw same subject, more free and fluent you became with this thing, or this like hand. So cool. And I also have some sketchbook about from train, this from Hong Kong Metro. Yeah, I think it's also about 2016. So you can see some sketches. Like this, so interesting. So you see this era before everybody wearing mask. Here I was waiting for bus in the bus station in Hong Kong. It's interesting, I even have idea to have idea of drawing people in a train right now and imagine how they look without mask. Write me in the comment if you want to see a sketch like this. So again, this cafe in Hong Kong, and this is my friend, he like coffee roaster. And you also improve your line economy. It's like how to draw less lines and to show good image. Yeah, like this one looks so good. It's kind of, you know, here is even less lines and effort than here, but this one looks complete, this one looks not finished. So it's kind of this sort of discipline about economy of your line when you use one line to show whole shape, whole silhouette. So it's kind of my main approach. It's like first I try to draw most of silhouette and then I start to breaking it on the elements. Like here you can see, right? So it was like line, 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 and then I put hands and stuff like that. Same here, because it's very important also, like I tell about composition, it's remember like every scene it's a shape, and we have like this shape hierarchy, you know, from general shape to dividing on a smaller shapes inside this group, general shape, like big group, smaller groups. This is so cool, he like hanging on this. So like a main shape is like whole silhouette of a body, and then we have like shape of pants, of this like wrinkles, shoes, his hand, how his head with the hand, his fingers in the hand. And it's just drawing a lot. I have like 10 sketchbook from Metro. Just draw. Like many of them, it's like trash. I mean, it's you cannot sell it or exhibit and say like, oh, I'm so proud of this sketch. But all of them, it's your practice, it's your experience, and they give you some idea. So for example, like here, you see like we have these two legs and they look like separated from this part here. That's why I think I more focus on making general shape first to make it look like one solid object instead of being like these broken elements connected somehow together, you know. So again, this sketch from cafe, and I have a video demo on my YouTube. You can see, I will put in a description a link to here so you can see time lapse of this drawing process. So like here you see, for example, right, so it's like many elements, but it feels like one solid unity. Or even here. So first make sure it's look solid, like one shape, one form, and instead of start drawing from details from legs and fingers. Later actually more you draw like general shapes, you of course you gain this speed when you can just like start from detail and draw everything. You gain this like vision of how to draw this complete shape. But at the beginning you really need to focus just to draw, to be sure you draw all together. So he really was sits like this, so maybe it look a little more collapsed here, but it was similar. You see, like here, it's like one solid shape. Or here, one shape. one shape. So even and then what more you do, you try to do same thing with the group of people. So like here you see you have this amazing tangle, like he sit like this, they're like watching this phone, but in the same time they're like together and not, you don't have this like they're like different elements and you just like shaking them drop together and somehow they stick to each other but they feel like broken apart. No, here we have this overall shape and then inside we start to finding out all these different elements. No, I have tutorial also about how to sketch people in the metro, like my approach. So you can see, I will also put link in description. So this one, that's just fantastic, you know, so it's like better than most of my drawing because of line economy, right? Like don't need to draw all these non-necessary lines. It's already have so many detail in this. This is a very interesting gesture and emotion. Here some details from cafe. There's different objects, mechanisms. Again, this cafe. You see, very interesting here. It's this road outside. You have this strong angle because Hong Kong is like San Francisco. And here it's so cool. Have this stairs goes here, stairs in the road. This one is my favorite drawing. It's like some lady was sit talking something in WhatsApp and then she find out me, like so, huh? And can see just one eye looking at me. It's like one eye, real eye, and one eye of the camera. Yeah, so usually when I draw people on the train, I try to draw people who don't notice me, because when they know you draw them, they will like nervous or change their pose. So if somebody sit near me and watching me draw, it's no problem. But I want to be sure people who I draw, they didn't realize. So they will act natural. This is so funny. Here's some Japan restaurant. Hong Kong. And I was tried different pen, sometimes marker. Here's like brown ink ball pen. And some drawing hands. Here she was sit very interesting pose, like this. practice of hands. Yes, so here is these two sketchbooks I want to show you today, and again some music. Thank you for watching. And see you in next video. You come back next video.